So I know what you're thinking. This isn't my grandmother's Doki Doki. It's Doki Doki Blue Skies, a mod for Doki Doki Literature Club that removes the horror aspect of the game while keeping the psychological torment. Plus, it greatly expands upon the world and characters and even adds in a few new ones. Basically, it's the dating sim that could have been. However, you're not supposed to play the mod until after you've played the vanilla game at least once. So if you haven't done that by now, you can get Doki Doki Literature Club for free at DDLC.moe, or you can find it on Steam. And if you want to play the mod for yourself, I highly recommend it. You can find it at blueskiesmod.com. All of the links will be in the description down below. Anyways, thanks for clicking on this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Alright, well I guess I can't erase the game beautifully like I wanted to. Hey Calvin, you've come in a great awkward time. I couldn't dramatically erase the game on our progress like I wanted to, but we're still starting over. Just factory reset your PC. You're right. Let me just uninstall everything. I'll reinstall Streamlabs. I'll reinstall Twitch and whatever I need. We'll be good to go. But yeah, so what's happening is we're going to just completely start the game over. We're going to pretend that our Natsuki playthrough never happened. For anyone just showing up, I'm going to turn the music down. Yes, we did Natsuki playthrough. Don't talk about it. No spoilers allowed. From this route, from any of the other routes. We're not even going to talk about it. We're playing it like it's fresh. Is everyone ready to go? I'm ready.
What's this? This shouldn't be possible. Why am I here? How am I here? Did you bring me back? I don't see any other explanation. Why? We've already established that there's no happiness here, so why? Why can't I look at the script? Something's wrong. You didn't do anything, did you? Don't you understand? Are you trying to mess things up even more? How did you... Wait, I know. You've installed a mod, haven't you? That's why everything's been changed. Don't you think it's time to let us all go? What, you want everything to be like how it should have been? But... You really care about them, don't you? I wish... Never mind. If you really want to do it, I won't stop you. I've been fighting to take control of this game again, but if you want to play through the mod, then... Well, I'll succumb to the mod's control. So... Do you want me to allow the mod's activation?
I'm curious to see what happens if you hit no. Not curious enough to actually do it, but I'm still curious.
Aha, I knew it. Sefji, or whatever your name actually is, I truly hope that you can find happiness with your choice.
Oh yeah, I also forgot to say at the top of the stream, we're going to be playing this game for 2-hour sessions, just so that when the stream VODs go up, they're only about 2 hours long, and if they're longer than that, I can cut them down a little bit easier. So that people have an easier time like catching up with the story in between. And we're gonna be playing this game once a week on Saturdays at 2. Sigh. I lay in bed, motionless, and staring up the blank white ceiling. Last night was dreadful. The sound of thunder kept me up for hours. But today's another day, I guess. Let's just hope that it's at least a bit better. With another sigh, I begrudgingly drag myself out of bed and groggily begin the monotony of my daily routine. Making my way to the kitchen, I haphazardly rummage through the cupboards, looking for something to eat. Unfortunately, there's no tasty homemade breakfast awaiting me. Ever since my parents' divorce, I've just been living off of whatever I find in the kitchen. I live with my mum, but she's always taking business trips abroad. That was the weirdest pronunciation of abroad I've ever done in my life. So for the most part, it's pretty much just me at home. It's lonely, but I manage. Although I do miss the smell of bacon and eggs in the morning. Breakfast used to be a family thing. Dad would read the newspaper at the kitchen table, while Mum would stand at the stove and fry up her famous sunny-side-up eggs. But all of that feels like a long-forgotten memory. Well, at least breakfast is sorted, a calorie mate. Not exactly the best start to the day, but it'll do. Wow, this dude is really sad. Anyways. I do my own shopping since Mom's never home, but I usually stick to buying the bare necessities. The ease of using pre-made stuff has pretty much sapped me of the urge to cook meals for myself. And with my food quickly finished, I head for the door. God, I almost referenced Natsuki there. It's gonna be so hard for me to not reference the last playthrough. At the very least, the weather looks much better than yesterday's. Clear skies beat thunderstorms any day of the week. I'm still lost in my thoughts when I notice a familiar face. It's Sayori. We have quite a history together. As children, we were basically inseparable. Always exploring, getting up to mischief, driving our parents wild. Typical things that young children do, really. As time went on, especially in recent years, we started slowly drifting apart. In fact, I haven't properly spoken to her in a long time. It's a real shame. After all, we've shared a lot of fond memories with each other. I'm surprised to see her up so early, though. A couple of times I've glanced out the classroom window only to see her hurriedly walking along to school. We used to walk to school together, and although she was sometimes a little late to meet me, I never really minded. As we continued to drift apart, however, her lack of punctuality became more frequent, and I just decided it'd be better if I walked to school alone. Which meant that although I did get to school on time more often, it was quite lonely. Knowing her, she's probably just gotten more and more lazy with time. After all, her dedication to sleeping in seems to be unwavering. It's not like she's depressed or anything. Well, still I've always enjoyed talking to her. Hey Sayori, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? She looks a little surprised at my appearance and question. I suppose I can't blame her.
Oh, hey, Steph G! I wasn't expecting to see you! This is the voice that everyone's been missing, right? The Sayori voice? This is everyone's favorite voice! It's definitely mine!
That makes two of us. You're up early today. She laughs softly, a misplaced-looking frown on her face. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Life has been pretty routine these days. School's kinda nah, although I guess it could be worse. She nods as we both resume the walk to school. Although I can talk to her just fine, there's still an awkward air between us. I guess that's a given, seeing as this is our first proper conversation together in a long time. As we carry on making idle small talk, a sudden thought hits me. Anyway, this might come across as a bit out of the blue, but seeing you here has given me an idea.
Oh?
Well, it's been a while since we've walked to school together. How about we start doing that again?
Would you really want to do that? I'm not very fun to talk to, and I'm always late, and I have like 2 left feet, and my bow is always crooked, and I have clinical depression, and I can't swing a tennis racket very well, and I don't know how to throw things really well, and I'm colorblind. My eyes are uneven.
I frown. It's really strange to hear Sayori say this, given I've always known her to have a bubbly, cheerful personality.
And I'm deaf, which is, I don't know how I'm hearing things. I guess I'm just good at reading lips.
Sayori, that's definitely not true. Well, the bit about always being late is true. I've always loved hanging out with you, and I think we'd have a lot of fun again. Besides, I've missed you. I'll even help you wake up on time if you need me to. Was that a bit too forward? I don't know. I've never been in this sort of situation before. I've never talked to women in my life. Sepji, why are you British? The narrator is British so that people who are just listening to the stream can differentiate between like inner monologue and outer dialogue. I mean, we are childhood friends after all, right?
Really?
Yeah, really.
I've missed you too, Sepchi.
Well, let's do it then. From now on, we'll walk to school together, okay?
Okay!
Ah, there it is. That classic Sayori smile I grew up loving. Love, love, love. Oh, the memories I have of us together as children feature that smile. No matter where we ventured, parks, playgrounds, forests, that smile would follow. That innocent, childlike sense of adventure we used to have, it's painfully clear that that's long gone. But maybe we can still smile together anyway, in a different way. In a more sexual way.
So, what have you been up to lately?
You know the usual. The callback to the jerking off joke.
You mean games, anime, and manga, right?
Yep, it pretty much goes without saying.
Oh, Sepchi, you haven't changed.
Sorry. I'm trying really hard to not harp on the shit we did last time, but I just... My head's going back to the jerking off bit. Are you saying that you think I need some change?
No one's perfect. There's always room for improvement. Especially in your case. I'm guessing that you're still part of the Go Home Club?
Hey, that cuts a little deep. What do you want me to do? Join the soccer club and trip over everyone?
Well, I think a little exercise is good for anyone.
I'm very offended if you're trying to call me fat right now.
Well, you don't have to join a sports club if you don't want to.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of checking out the
anime club? Sepchi, you should try branching out more. You fucking weeb.
Okay, Miss Club Expert, if you're gonna criticize all my club choices, what would you suggest?
Well, it just so happens that there's this club that I'm in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm actually the vice president.
Wow, I did not expect that. Dang, so you get to take part in all the executive decisions, huh?
Kind of. They don't let me do anything. Something about being too airheaded. With my IQ of 5, the club kind of only has 4 members at the moment, but it's really fun. We're actually looking for new members right now.
Ah, so that's why she brought it up, you fucking snake. Only 4 members? Sounds like you guys are just starting out then. What club is it anyway? As if I don't already know.
It's the school's very own literature club.
I unintentionally let out a sigh. Her face drops. I don't think that was quite the reaction she was hoping for. In my defense, literature has never quite captured my interest. Unless you count manga as literature, that is.
I knew it. You don't want to join. I understand, though. Not many people like reading.
Hey, who said I didn't like to read? I love reading if you count, manga. I muttered the last word more to myself than to Sayori. On the plus side, Sayori laughs at my sheepishness. Okay, I can't do that to Sayori. I'll hate Sayori after that, if I give her that snort.
You sound like someone I know from the literature club. She talks about manga all the time.
Oh, really? I am actually interested in your club, though. Sayori smiles, seemingly content that I'm showing the initiative. If I'm looking for a club to join, I guess the literature club is as good a place as any to start. Let me get some water real quick, guys. There we go. Look at that. Look at all that water. Filled to the brim. Oh, no! Fuck, I just spilled water all over myself. No! Oh, god damn it. Paper towel. Save the chair. Save my nice leather chair. You know, thankfully it got all on me and not in the chair. I'm okay with this, actually. I'm totally fine with this. Okay, back on track. Everything's clean. I'm dry enough. Back in chat. Thanks for the 4 extra bits. If I'm looking for a club to join, I guess the literature club is as good a place as any to start. For all I know, I'll find lots of really cute girls there, and I'll have a good time.
That's great! You should come by sometime!
And by sometime, you're hoping for today, aren't you?
The sooner the better.
Alright, I'll have a look after school today.
Yay! Thanks, FG!
Although we should probably hurry up. Don't want to be late now, do we?
Yeah, you're right.
Within a few minutes, we've arrived at the school entrance amidst a crowd of chattering students. We wave a goodbye as we head off to our separate classes. I have Sakurai in the morning, so I'm fairly confident that the next hour or so won't be too bad. By the way, Sakurai's voice, I won't spoil it, but it's something. It's something else. Who's Sakurai, you might ask? Only one of the coolest, most down-to-earth teachers we have in the whole school. Being on the young side himself, the experience of high school is much fresher in his mind than in some of the other teachers, especially the older ones. He gives me a smile as I open the door. Morning, Sefchi. How are we doing today? Not bad, sir. Same old, same old. How about you? Well, we're finally starting our module on 20th century history today, so needless to say, I'm excited. Oh yeah? First World War, Nazism, Second World War, that stuff? You bet. I've waited all year for this to start. Oh man, you guys are in for a real treat. That's something else I really admire about him. He's so enthusiastic about his subjects, and that enthusiasm really makes learning about history that much more enjoyable. Combined with the fact that he's fairly relaxed, especially when it comes to homework, you can really see why he's popular. Although he does have a strict side, of course. That side of him comes to light every now and again, so he isn't a pushover. By and large, he's earned the respect of his students by striking the balance just right. I just wish that all of my teachers were as friendly and made efforts to know their students better. Ah, well. I take a seat and one of my classmates, Emmy, smiles and waves. Bouncy and energetic, she has a reputation for her skills on the track field. Even when she isn't running, she's still pretty much a ball of energy. Hey, We have one of those odd friendships where we get along well in class, but don't really see each other outside of school. How are you doing, Emmy? Training was really fun today, Sefchi. Oh. She's always on the hunt for new recruits to join the track team, and she has a habit of dropping some not-so-subtle hints. Be gone, track thought! Yeah, we're always looking for new people, and I know you aren't part of any clubs, so you should totally join us. It's funny you mentioned that I'm not part of any clubs, actually. I think I'm gonna check out the literature club after school. I didn't really think you were the poetic type. But if you ever get bored of writing poems, you know where to find me. How many times do I have to tell you that I'm fat? All right, guys, let's make a start. It's almost criminal that I've had to wait so long to teach my favorite century. In case you guys haven't figured it out yet, by the way, Sakurai's voice is the voice of Sakurai's translator, Masahiro Sakurai from Smash Brothers. In from all the Smash Directs. Well, that's the school's lessons over. As I linger behind in the classroom to gather up all my things, I hear the door open. It's Sayori.
Hi, Natsuki!
Ow, my ears! Hey, the Literature Club's meeting today, right? I think I'm, like, bleeding.
Yeah, it is! I was just heading there now. Do you still want to come along?
You betcha. But only if you stop screaming in my ear. I think I have permanent hearing loss. Sayori seems to perk up, although looking excited that I still want to come along to the club.
Look at you, finally doing some extracurriculars. I feel like a proud mom.
Don't do that. We're gonna date later. I'm gonna feel weird. I mean, if you're the vice president, it can't be all that bad, right? She giggles, making me smile.
Each individual club member makes it special. Everyone works hard to have fun together.
Well, let's not keep them waiting. It'd be rude to show up late. I want to make a good first impression after all.
I guess you're right. Come on, it's right this way and up the stairs at the end. Wipe.
I follow Sayori down the hallway. She seems excited, and it's nice to know that I'm making her day at least a little bit better. The stairs lead up to a section of the school that I recognize as the third year's wing. Sayori leads me to a classroom and knocks on the door.
Trust me, you're gonna love it.
She's definitely enthusiastic about this club, that's for sure. After a seemingly long wait, the door finally slides open. A small, pink-haired best girl peeks out. What was Natsuki's voice? I forgot. You do the deepest voice you can do. Alright, I guess. Sayori? She peeks out even further.
Hey, Natsuki!
Oh, that was almost a spoiler, I'm so sorry.
Guess what? I found someone who wants to join our club!
The girl, who's apparently called Natsuki, slowly turns a glare to me and narrows her eyes. She opens the door fully, and behind her I see another girl sitting at a desk, her face buried in a book. What? Hey, wait, Sayori! Sayori practically pushes Natsuki out of the way. She seems excited to introduce me to the rest of the club members.
Hey guys, I wanted to introduce you to our newest member, Sepchi!
Sayori, hold up! It's a bit quick to call me the new member, isn't it? I then notice a third girl peek out from behind a bookshelf in the corner of the classroom. Can it be? Is that Monica? Monica is one of the most popular girls at this high school. She's a literal goddess. I wish I could date her in this game, but I can't. Everyone seems to flock to her because she's smart, beautiful, athletic, you name it, she's got it. She looks at me first with a stern look, but then quickly lights up, puts down the book she's holding, and rushes over. There it is. Oh my, yep, she's sideways now. She's no longer self-aware. Yeah, cut to my first reaction in the first couple of VODs. When I saw this, I was... In our first playthrough of this, I saw her sideways, I was just like, ah! It's so weird!
Ah, Sepchi, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club.
The girl who has her face buried in her book suddenly jolts up and looks right at me. She quickly snaps her book shut and timidly moves to join the conversation. Oh, a new member? My name is Yuri. Yeah. Holy crap, it seems that I've somehow lucked out. Not only is Monica in this club, but also a bunch of other cute girls. Am I glad that I decided to come here instead of the anime club today? But enough gawking, Sefchi. Stop staring and start talking. It's nice to meet you, Yuri. Like Sayori said, I'm Sefchi. I smile at her, then turn to Monica.
So it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right?
That's right. It's great to see you again, Sepchi.
Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. It's kind of strange to say, but having her smile at me so genuinely makes me feel a bit starstruck. The powers of a school idol. You too, Monica. So you guys run a club with just the four of you then, huh? Sayori told me about how you were looking for new members.
Well, I've actually been trying to push for more members for a while, but we haven't had any luck recently.
Sayori did say... My words drop in my mouth as Natsuki shoots me a piercing glare. She looks pissed at me, but for what reason, I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to do much besides walk in and say hello. Sayori, you brought a boy? I can't take her seriously.
Yep, he told me he wanted to join just this morning.
Not sure if it's just Sayori being an airhead again. She has an IQ of 5, in case you didn't know, but I don't recall promising that I'd join. Great. Natsuki glowers at us, folding her arms with an irritated huff. I don't really get why, though.
Sorry about Natsuki. That's just how she is. She's a little standoffish to new members.
Oh, it's nothing. I don't mind. Hey, I'm right here, you know.
Sorry. I've got to try to make a good impression, though.
Come on, Natsuki, we need new members! If you don't feel like being nice to Sepchi, can you at least be nice for me, please?
Jeez, you don't have to make such a big deal out of it. Fine. If you're gonna beg, I guess I have no choice.
Hooray! Thanks, Natsuki!
Looks like I know who the tsundere of this group is now. It's almost comical to the extent to which Natsuki fits that trope. She must read too much manga. Well, maybe my view of the world is just clouded by anime influences, though.
Anyway, let's get this conversation back on track. How'd you come to learn about the literature club, Sepchi?
I'll have to admit, I'm a bit curious about that myself. Sayori and I were just walking to school when she mentioned this club to me. Since I was sort of looking for a club to join, I figured that I should check you guys out. At any rate, Sayori was really enthusiastic about the literature club, so... Monika beams at Sayori when she hears this. Guess Sayori has done a good job at advertising for the club. She's the best simp a literature club could ask for. What's a simp? I see. Well, I think this is a great place to start. After all, books can be very enticing.
Yeah, it's super fun! I think the club is the only place where I've been feeling comfortable lately.
Sayori's face falls for a moment, but she quickly picks herself back up.
It's somewhere I can just sit and read while hanging out with friends.
I think they sum up the club pretty well. After all, I started to bring together like-minded people who love literature. I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far. It's very cozy. But enough introductions. Why don't you come in and take a seat, Sepchi? Did you bring anything to read?
As she asks that, I realize I'm not much of a reader, much less someone who loves literature. Oh, fuck no. To be honest, I haven't even thought this through very well. Would joining a club that focuses on reading really be the best thing for me? No, I don't really have any books on me at the moment. I just haven't seen any good titles recently. I lie through my teeth, hoping Monika doesn't see through my facade. I obviously don't read much, but if they believe that I do, hopefully they'll help me relate to these girls.
Well, we have plenty of books here. If you want to check out what we have, I'm sure you'll find something that matches your taste.
Is that so? Then I guess I'll head over there. Maybe something might catch my eye. I start to sweat nervously as I walk awkwardly over to the bookshelf. There looks to be a good variety of books available, ranging in genre from horror and fantasy all the way down to non-fiction. Sheepishly, I turn towards... Okay, chat. Here's the deal, okay? I am 85% sure this has no bearing on the route. We picked Natsuki last time. I'll leave it up to chat. What do you guys want to see this time? Yuri because they like books? I thought you were about to say Yuri because they have boobs. It's the most logical choice. You are smarty. You're a smart boy. That's a very rational choice. Anyone else? No, they're all lurking. Alright, sucks to be them. Sucks to suck, guys. Hey, could you help me pick out a book you think I'd like? Oh, I'd be happy to, if the prospect isn't too off-putting. I know of a wonderful horror novel. To be honest, horror never particularly appealed to me. Still, I want to make an effort here. I have an open mind. What book were you thinking of? Blushing, Yuri bends down and removes a thick book from the bookcase. I do not stare at her ass. It has a large, piercing eye in the cover. It almost feels like it's staring into my soul. Wait, I feel like I've heard of that book before. You have. It's I have Markov from the original game. Spoilers or whatever. Oh, sorry, Portrait of Markov. One of my personal favorites, Portrait of Markov. I know it might look intimidating, but... sorry. She shakes her head and goes to put the book back, but I stop her. Don't worry about it, I'd love to check it out. What's it about? A coy smile plays across her face, as though she were pleasantly surprised by my enthusiasm. Let's see, the protagonist is a young high school student who moves in with her sister, but shortly after, sinister things start happening. The two are captured by an ominous cult that practices nightmarish experiments on their prisoners. Throughout the story, she's forced to make choices no one her age should have to make. In the process, her ability to trust others is warped, and many of her relationships are broken as a result. pretty dark, but hey, I'd be lying if I said it didn't sound interesting. Well, it definitely sounds pretty engaging. I think I'll read this book then. Natsuki mumbles something, but she's just barely out of earshot. Really? You don't have to if you don't want to. I do! While this might not be what I usually pick, your description of the plot intrigued me. Although I have to ask, what makes this your favorite book? If I had to put it into words... I suppose I'm a big believer in literature's ability to challenge the psyche. So to have such an immersive tale question your ideals and foundations can be extremely exhilarating. She smiles and twirls a long lavender strand of hair around with her finger. Words are immensely powerful. They can paint stunning portraits, invoke emotion, or even whisk oneself away to an entirely new dimension. As she continues to speak, she transforms from the timid girl I just met into a proud and confident expert. I get the impression that she feels more at home with books rather than with other people. Isn't that exhilarating, Sefchi? We have such a vast vocabulary at our disposal. With such a powerful resource at our fingertips, we can do anything. I clear my throat, hoping that I don't push her off with my evident inexperience. Yeah, when you put it that way, I can understand how powerful the written word can be. I scratch the back of my head nervously. Fortunately, she finds that to be a satisfactory answer. One must look at the words the author chose. We have so many synonyms. What compelled the author to shape their story the way they did? The feeling I get when I finally finish a truly compelling novel, it leaves me totally breathtaking. I wish I had something as coherent to respond with. We might as well be from different planets. I think I know what you mean. She closes her eyes, pulling her hands close to her chest. Then, as though remembering she's not alone, she suddenly blinks and immediately appears more bashful. Oh goodness, I'm sorry, I must have gotten lost in my train of thought. She fidgets with a thin clip in her hair, sliding it up and down. Hey, don't worry about it. It's nice to see you talk about something you obviously enjoy. Who's to say otherwise? Yuri glances over to Natsuki, who simply raises her eyebrow in reply. Ah, does Natsuki not like these kinds of stories? She sighs and turns to look out of the window. Ooh, gross. I'm gonna read that line again, because I just really fumbled that. She sighs and turns out to look out. Fuck! She sighs and turns to look out of the window. That's putting it lightly. We have our differences in what we enjoy, literature-wise. She frowns slightly, as though pained by Natsuki's apparent disapproval. Well, I think everyone's different tastes are what make literature interesting, especially when talking about it with other people. I can't help but grin. I feel like that was actually pretty clever. Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. I reach over and take a portrait of Marco from her, tucking it under my arm. Well, I'll give this a bit of a read and see how far I can get tonight. I appreciate you giving it a chance, even if it's not something you're used to. I'll be looking forward to hearing your opinion. I must warn you though, once you get past the first few chapters, you might have trouble putting it down. And perhaps tomorrow, I mean, if you wanted to, we could discuss it? She looks quite nervous as she suggests that. Guess that's just how her personality is. Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. Thanks for the recommendation. Oh, sorry, that's not Yuri. Thanks for the recommendation, Yuri. I do need to branch out and try new things. This would be a good place to start. I'm grateful that I get to read it on my own, at least for now. I honestly have no idea if I'll even like it, and if I were reading it with her and decided I didn't, that might make things a little awkward. With the book in hands, I make my way to a desk. The others are all now preoccupied, so this seems like a convenient time to start the story. I'm gonna save again here. I'm fine overwriting the save. This is just a save progress. It's definitely an unusual book. Horror was never really my thing, but I have to admit the main idea is intriguing and the main characters are written well. The more I read, the more I can see why it appeals to Yuri. All that talk about appreciating sophisticated language. Well, it's not exactly my kind of story. To their credit, the author does a good job building up the rather bleak situation. I've never been particularly imaginative, but even I can picture the scenes in my head. If I weren't so tired, I could probably engage with it more. Over time, I can't help but grow a little bored, though. I guess I've read enough to be able to discuss it with Yuri tomorrow, so I decide to call it there. Looking up, I spot Sayori reading something. Might as well see what she's up to. I've probably read this for long enough. Standing up with a stretch, I make my way over and take a seat next to her. Hey, how's it going, Sayori? What are you reading? As I sit down, I notice that she looks quite content.
Nothing much, just reading some stuff for a school project. What about you? You seem really into your book.
Oh yeah, it was a good read, at least as far as I can tell right now. I can't help but wish I sounded a little more enthusiastic.
That's great! So how are you liking the club? You're not bored, are you?
She looks a little worried, her cheerful persona faltering for a moment. Where did that question come from? It's a bit too early to tell how I really feel about the club. Of course not, Sayori. Sure, I haven't been here for long, but I've enjoyed meeting everyone. They've opened my eyes to new stuff. I've never been huge on reading, but I'm confident the Literature Club could change that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're involved. You don't want to join a club that you have no interest in, right?
I know what you mean. I think reading will grow on me in time. Actually, do you mind if I sit with you and read? She looks at me, clearly surprised. I don't think she was expecting me to sit next to her, but nonetheless, she seems happy. Her smile is infectious, lifting my own spirits too.
That would be great, Sepchi!
We read for a while, which turns into talking fairly quickly, our conversation being a continuation of our chat from the walk to school. It's nice to just sit and talk with my childhood friends who'd have guessed reconnecting would be so easy. I haven't felt this content for as long as I can remember. The good mood reflects on her as well, given that she seems very uplifted and bubbly. I don't know what it is about her that makes me so at ease. Wow, we've been talking for a bit, haven't we? Man, I didn't even realize the time.
I guess we have been talking for a while.
I can see why you come to the Literature Club so much. There really is a welcome at ease vibe here. It must be a nice change of pace after how hectic the school day can be.
I was hoping you'd say that, Sepchi. It really is, and I'm grateful for the others as well. They really help make the club the way it is.
I can't help but notice that Natsuki and Yuri seem to be very different, though. Do they argue much? Do you have nudity turned off in the settings? I did. It turned itself off. That's terrifying. Stay. Oh no! Oh no! No! I can't help but notice that Natsuki and Yuri seem to be very different, though. Do they argue much? She looks a little downcast at my question.
Sometimes, yes, but thankfully it isn't often.
I can sense this isn't a topic she likes discussing. Well, that's only normal, I guess. Monica seems like a great president, though. She must be very proud of this club. Just then, Monica gets up from the desk she was sitting at and faces the classroom confidently. Speak of the devil. I almost forgot the voice mod.
Okay, everyone, I hope we're having a good time so far.
There's a good moment of silence during which everyone seems to be glancing at me. Do they want me to respond? I'm honestly having a great time. Thanks for the warm welcome, everyone.
Well, it's great to hear that. And as it turns out, Natsuki baked some cupcakes for the club, too.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to announce it, so let me get them.
Let's go sit over there, Sepchi. It looks like there's room at those desks for all of us.
I dutifully follow Sayori over to where the rest of the girls have pulled a couple of desks together to form a table. How about I make some tea as well? Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room when Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling a bit awkward, I opt to take a seat next to Sayori. If the conversation starts to die out, I can always rely on her to save me. Meanwhile, Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? This girl that's all about being cutesy and cute.
Just has the deepest voice in the fucking world.
Ta-da!
Whoa!
Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolates were used to make the ears.
So cute!
What? It's back again?
I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki.
Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica, I follow.
Let's delicious!
Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. If she made it all by herself, that's seriously impressive. It practically tastes professionally done to me. Well done! But then again, it's not like I have the most discerning taste palette. These cupcakes are amazing! Thank you, Natsuki! Yeah, you better thank me, because this took hard work to do. Yeah, it really seems like it. Did you make it by yourself, or did your parents help you? Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Are you saying I couldn't have done it by myself? No, it's just that it seems professionally made, so I was wondering if an actual baker helped you. Pfft, I wish my dad was a baker, but just because I don't bake for money, it doesn't mean that I can't be good. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I just suck at cooking myself, so I'm wowed by good cooking. Oh shit, skip the dialogue! Ah! I guess I should count myself lucky that I got to try your cupcakes today, huh? Uh-huh. It's not every day that I have the time to bake. So be thankful. Get down on your knees and prostrate yourself to the goddess Natsuki. I am best girl. The expression on Natsuki's face practically says, bow down before me, peasant.
Are you expecting Sephi to prostrate himself before you?
Looks like Monica had the same thought. Oh...
You can't blame Natsuki for bragging a little, though. I would too if I made these.
Yeah, exactly. Natsuki smiles gratefully at Sayori's save. Meanwhile, Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places the teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you.
That's not... Embarrassed, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know... Don't worry about it, I believe you. About as far as I can throw you. And with those boobs, I can't throw you very far. Tea and reading might not be a common pastime for me, but I can at least appreciate it. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. Oops, sorry.
I'm happy to see that you like your... I'm happy that you look like you're enjoying yourself, Sepshi. As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
Oh, that reminds me. I've actually been meaning to ask you something, Monica. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the other major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year?
Well, you know, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream.
Monica really is a great leader.
Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. But I guess it must be hard to start a new club since everyone's probably settled into their own activities already.
You could put it that way. It can be hard to get people invested in things that are brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature.
What's with that weird voice? It's a long story, and we're coming up on a 2-hour mark, so I'm trying to get to the end. If you ask again in like 10 or so minutes here, 10-ish minutes, I'll give you an answer, probably.
You have to work to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the Cultural Festival that much more important.
Speaking of school events, I don't think I saw your club at the club fair at the beginning of the year.
That's because I hadn't started it yet.
Oh, I guess that explains why you don't have many members yet.
Yeah, we missed that opportunity to draw in first years who hadn't found clubs yet. It's a lot harder to advertise on a person-by-person basis. And like you said, a lot of people already have other extracurriculars by now. But even so, I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone?
Yeah!
We'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. By the way, I know that everyone here likes reading, but do you guys write as well?
Actually, we haven't really done any writing together, funnily enough.
Do you guys just read and discuss books then?
You could say that.
Sounds more like a normal book club than a literature club. I can't say the word literature in a British accent. Huh, to be honest, I was kind of expecting you all to do stuff like write poetry together. At the word poetry, Natsuki jolts back a bit. Eh? Do you not like poetry, Natsuki? What? I don't really have an opinion on it, I guess.
Oh, really?
With a sly smile, Monica vanishes from thin air, rummages through her book bag, and then returns to existence with a loose notebook page in her hands. I recycled that joke from the last playthrough. Fucking sue me.
I happen to have a poem called...
Hey, where'd you get that? Natsuki springs up and snatches the paper out of Monica's grasp.
Don't worry, I didn't steal it from your bag or anything. You dropped it on the way out the other day. I was going to return it, but I couldn't help teasing you a bit before I did that.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you kept your nosy nose out of my private work.
Duly noted, and sorry. I just couldn't help glancing over your poem when I picked it up. Your writing style is really cute, Natsuki.
Your cupcakes, your poems, your voice. Everything you do is just as cute as you are.
I'm cute as fuck, dog.
Everything you do is just as cute as you are.
Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hand on her shoulders. I'm not cute! Oh.
Hey, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
So you do write your own poems, Natsuki? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I just think that's pretty neat. Why don't you share them with the club sometime? Not if everyone's just gonna call them cute. Like Sayori said, there's nothing wrong with being cute, you know. You wouldn't get it. There's nothing worse than trying to get honest feedback from someone and just having them say it's cute. Sorry, Scorn. Apparently, I forgot that scorn drips from the word cute.
This is Natsuki's version of scorn.
Scorn drips from the word cute. I guess I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, no one does. It's super annoying, you know. Actually, I believe I understand how Natsuki feels. Natsuki looks surprised at Yuri's sudden interjection, almost like they have more in common than they realize. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. Yuri is slowly turning British, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with it or not. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. And when that's all dismissed with a single remark, well, suffice to say, it can greatly discourage you from putting your work out there again.
It sounds like both you and Natsuki have writing experiences in common, Yuri.
Maybe. Although, I didn't mean to speak for Natsuki. Jeez, it's fine. I pretty much agree with what you said, so... Why the weird voice? For who? For Monica? Alright, I did say I would explain it when we're almost at the end, so I'm gonna go through it quickly. Yeah, okay, so... John Ball TV, check him out if you haven't, he's a good friend. He did a playthrough of this game, and on his last play session, because he was almost near the end, I did this full bit, I did this prank where I popped in because I was voicing some characters for his streams. I played Monica, and I method acted as Monica the entire time. It was a deep bit too. I went deep. I did like I had an alt Twitch account set up for her. I had an alt Discord account set up for her. I had to do an alt email account just to like get her like verified on everything. Right when John during the stream was like, where is Colin at? Isn't he gonna be coming soon? Suddenly you see in the corner, Monica 5432 has joined the Bala squad. And in chat, it's like, hey, John, it's me, Monica. Would you mind if I join you? Don't worry, I'll let myself into your Discord. And then in the Discord, Monica joins the Discord. and then into the call, I'm like,
hey, John, it's me.
As if I'd been possessed by Monica. It was pretty fantastic. All right, but that's the story. I gotta get back to the conversation. A brief moment of silence falls upon us as we all reflect on the conversation.
This just gave me an idea, everyone.
We all look quizzically at Monica, who smiles knowingly back at us.
If we have members who are looking for legitimate criticism of their poetry, how about we do that here? I'm sure we can all trust each other to be respectful, and I think it'd be a fun activity for us.
I don't know if I feel comfortable sharing my old poetry. I didn't write it to be read by the public, so... Yeah, same here.
That's fine. We can all just go home and write new poems to bring it tomorrow. I was going to suggest that anyway, since I don't think the rest of us have poetry ready to share yet.
Silence.
Yeah! That sounds awesome!
Oh no, my ears are fine. Don't worry about it. I'm so sorry, headphone users. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't help it. I had to.
I think learning about poetry would be really fun.
And now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us all get a little more. And now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. That's Monika's voice. I finally found it again. Isn't that right, Sefchi?
Monika smiles warmly at me once again. The Literature Club has been very welcoming so far, at least after the initial introductions were made. And although I'll have to start writing poems, it seems like a fair price to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. I had my doubts at first, but given how friendly and welcoming these girls are, I don't really see any reason why I shouldn't join the club. Yep, I'll be looking forward to becoming better friends with you all.
Then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club, Sefchi.
Thank you, Monika.
Yes, I'm so happy you're joining us.
Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. She breaks my spine. Hey!
And thanks for playing along.
She whispers this last remark in my ear. So she was aware that I'd never agreed to join in the beginning. That sneaky girl. Although Sayori is the most enthusiastic, all of the girls' eyes are lit up in happiness. I would have been super pissed if you just left after eating my cupcakes. I'm very glad you're staying as well.
Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Don't forget tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so that we can hold discussions.
Monika looks over at me once more.
Sefchi, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah. Why was that weirdly sexual? Can I really impress Monika with my mediocre reading and writing skills? Something tells me no. Geez, I can already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. I'm so nervous and giddy. Ah, well, it's not like Monika's going to be as harsh as an actual literature teacher, though, right? Meanwhile, the others continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Sayori, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? Given that she introduced me to all these amazing people, it's the least I could do for her. Foreshadowing?
Sure, let's head home.
With that, the two of us wave goodbye to the others and make our way home. On the way back, we discuss the events of the day, focusing particularly on each club member. As we do so, my mind wanders between them all. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. I'm excited to hang out with everyone from now on. Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of them? Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Yeah. I love this. This is so cool. And this is where we're stopping for today. Alright. That's the end of Doki Doki for today.